I just bought a new house, and it just so happens that it has been flipped. Now, you know I love to talk bad about real estate flippers, and I'm going to show you why I do. Let's go inside.
Do you want to say anything about it?
The door's old. I won't make a big deal over that. Let's go inside. Starting with the kitchen. Now, I'm not going to hold it against them that they had terrible taste and they picked this hideous tile and they painted all the trim gray. They made the floors gray and they took every last ounce of charm out of the house. We're not going to hold that against them. That's to be expected with house flippers. But let's start over here. When we came into the house, we noticed the outlet cover was missing. You think, oh, it just needs to be put back on. It was even sitting on the counter. Well, you go to try to put it back on, what do you know? Outlets are set too deep into the wall. Moving on to the countertops and this, whatever you call it. The countertops are maple butcher block. I don't have a problem with that, even though they're going to wear out pretty quick, but they're unfinished. There is not one bit of finish on there, so every last little thing that gets on them just absorbs right in. As far as this piece here goes, okay, I get that it's wood, but was maple too expensive? We had to just use a piece of #1 common pine? Come on now. We come over here, they re-drywalled a ton of the house. They could have remedied this, but instead we've got our vent buried halfway behind the cabinet. Moving on to appliances. In the first week of owning the house, the refrigerator has started tripping the GFI and has melted everything inside of the fridge. I'm guessing all these appliances were seconds, possibly returns, and that's why we've got something like that going on. That is not normal. When you open this dishwasher, it feels something like a Fisher-Price toy that you would get in a kitchen set for small children. But that's not my complaint with it. My complaint is the track constantly falls off. I don't know if they swapped a track in here that didn't come with it, but how do you mess that up? I'm heading out of the kitchen, getting ready to turn the lights off. Where's the switch? Oh, there it is. It's behind the fridge. Got it. Coming into the hallway here, you look at this trim. My word, this entire thing is just twisted. It's way off. But that's not even the worst of it. Come check this out. Looks to me like they reframed a couple of these walls here. We missed lining up the walls by almost 2 inches. I'm not sure if this guy even owned a tape measure. I'm thinking he maybe did the old colonial hands thing before there was actual units of measuring. Down here we have a nice architectural detail known as the sloping floor. While we're in here, let's take a moment to admire the window trim. I don't know what they're trying to hide down here with these massive 1x6s, but that is hideous. And if you have a drywall wrap, which you do, this is drywall in here, why did you nail trim on to begin with? Especially this cheap door case. Coming into the bathroom here, at first glance, everything is great. The floor is even flat in here, one of the only places in the house. We go to open up our drawer to get our toothbrush out, and you run the sink for more than about 10 seconds, and it starts to back up immediately. And if you look at this bathroom, it's actually quite wide, which tells me it's not the original size in the house, because these old houses had quite small bathrooms in them. So I know they've reconfigured a few walls here, but somehow there's no linen closet, no pantry, no nothing in this entire downstairs. I guarantee the original house design had something. Prior to this beautiful Target rack being installed, the towel rack for the bathroom was over the toilet. It was right here. So if you wanted to hang your towels on it, they were going to hang directly onto the toilet. Let's check out the bedroom. Now, overall, I don't have any new complaints in here, except for the fact that last night while walking through the doorway, I stepped on a nail that was protruding up through the floor and into the carpet, and it entered the bottom of my foot. I think there might be another one that I stepped on this morning that wasn't as long. Checking out the living room, I don't have too many complaints, except for this massive ski slope here. This is a massive slope in the floor, and it's to be expected in old houses to a degree, but you're gonna put new LVP over this. Big slopes and humps in the floor will cause LVP to fail very quickly every single time. Moving on to the dining room. And while we're on the way, let's check out this door. If you look at the edge of it, apparently they did not take the time to allow the paint to dry before they closed the door. So it's all peeling off up the side. And let me show you one more nice little detail on the outside. What is this? I can think of plenty of ways to have done that half decent. It would not have been much harder. Overall, I have a few complaints with this room until you look closely at this light fixture. Instead of running the cord inside of the tube like it's meant to go, they ran the cord for the lights down on the outside, and then they've wrapped the whole thing in black electrical tape. We'll just turn the lights off in here now. Oh. Nothing's happening. Oh, what's this flash behind me? Yep. Somehow they wired the kitchen lights to the living room. Now, I've got to say something about this texture. I'm no drywaller myself, but man, I have never seen a texture quite like this one before. Let's go upstairs. Now for the upstairs bathroom. We walk in. Everything seems fine. And then if you get down here, oh, what do you know? The vanity is sitting on two thick ends of a shim on both ends. And you move over here to the toilet, which I find to be more egregious. You move over here to the toilet. The entire toilet is sitting on shims. The back and the front. Why would you possibly need to set the whole toilet on shims? Use shims to hold up one side to match the other. I would overall say the upstairs construction quality is slightly better. Maybe that was the second contractor who finished the job and didn't get fired. However, there's still some egregious problems. Now, some of this may be how the house always was, but I know a lot of new drywall went into this house. The insulation is non-existent. You see these holes here? I punched through and I put an inspection camera inside. Not a lick of insulation in the entire upstairs. In the attic, they put one layer of what looks like R19. Absolutely nothing else. So when it's 80 degrees outside, it's 100 degrees up here, even with the air conditioning on. The air conditioning does absolutely nothing to cool this upstairs down. It is an old Cape Cod house, and they're not supposed to have great air conditioning in the upstairs. But the guys could have at least added a little bit of insulation if they were going to be ripping walls apart. I have very few complaints about the basement. I actually think they cleaned it up quite nice down here. My complaints come in the form of the plumbing. I'm no plumber, but we've had the plumbers out here twice now. They did all this PVC in these cheap rubber booties, and the system has been backing up on us. And when it backs up, every one of those rubber booties starts to leak sewer all over our basement. And the real icing on the cake is this sewer line, which is about 150 linear feet to the street. This jungle back here is my backyard. I don't mind that, but come check this out. Down here is my sewer line. It is broken and full of roots, and it needs to be replaced. What do you guys think it's going to cost me to do that if I hire the plumbers? $20,000. Did the flippers know that? I have no way of knowing the answer to that question, but it seems like there's a decent chance. And guys, don't get me wrong. This is not me complaining at the house flippers. I like to roast them in other videos, so I knew there was going to be some tomfoolery when I bought this house. To be honest with you though, it was a good bit worse than I expected. I understand that not all home flippers are this bad, but if you're going to buy a house and everything looks a little too shiny and a little too new, it might be getting flipped, and you might want to look more closely at the little details. And just keep in mind, your home inspector is not the guy who's checking all this little stuff. He's checking to make sure the main components of your home work. But thanks for watching, guys, and if you like this video, I've got another one popping up on the screen. Watch that one, I think you'll like it too.